Metropoly by Redback Dev, the ultimate strategy guide, expanded. Welcome to the definitive, expanded strategy guide for Metropoly, the exhilarating arcade-style game developed by Redback Dev. This isn't just about surviving the city streets, it's about dominating them. In Metropoly, your goal is to amass the largest crowd of pedestrians, outmaneuvering opponents and strategically growing your following to become the ultimate urban leader. Whether you're playing on your Android device or enjoying the Windows version, this comprehensive guide will provide you with everything you need, from foundational gameplay mechanics to advanced, nuanced tactics that will give you a significant edge. Let's dive deep into the bustling metropolis and begin your journey to crowd supremacy. Basic gameplay mechanics, understanding the foundation. At its core, Metropoly is deceptively simple. The objective is straightforward. Grow your crowd by collecting pedestrians who are wandering the city streets. Your control is equally intuitive. You direct your character's movement by clicking or tapping on the screen to change direction. This simple control scheme allows you to focus on the strategic elements of the game. As you navigate the urban landscape, guide your character into these pedestrians. Each pedestrian you encounter joins your growing throng, visually increasing the size of your crowd with every step. This immediate feedback is satisfying and reinforces the core loop of the game: move, collect, grow. However, the true genius of Metropoly lies in its crowd-stealing mechanic. This is where the game transitions from a simple collection game to a highly competitive strategic battle. When your crowd comes into contact, overlaps, with another player's crowd, or an AI-controlled crowd, a crucial event occurs. The larger crowd absorbs the smaller one. This single mechanic transforms every encounter into a high-stakes, risk-reward decision. Think about the implications. Risk assessment. Do you aggressively pursue a smaller crowd, knowing you'll absorb them and significantly increase your size? Defensive play. Do you avoid larger crowds, prioritizing safe growth in less contested areas? Opportunity cost. Every moment spent avoiding a confrontation is also a moment not spent gathering more pedestrians. Mastering this crowd-stealing mechanic is absolutely essential to achieving consistent victory in Metropoly. It's the core mechanic that elevates the game beyond simple collection and introduces a layer of strategic depth. Character customization. Express yourself in the urban jungle. Metropoly understands that even in a competitive environment, personal expression matters. The game's character customization options, accessible directly from the main menu, allow you to inject your personality into your in-game avatar. These choices persist across game sessions, giving you a consistent identity within the Metropoly world. Here's a breakdown of the customization options. 1. Player dance. This is your victory flourish, your moment of triumph. Select a dance animation that plays when you win a round. Choose a dance that reflects your playstyle. Are you a confident, showboating winner, or a more understated, stoic champion? The choice is yours. 2. Player model. Metropoly features a charming, low-poly aesthetic. The player model selection allows you to choose from a variety of these poly-style characters. Find the one that resonates with you, perhaps a character that looks tough, whimsical, or simply cool. 3. Player material. This option lets you customize the visual appearance of your character further by applying different materials. This could be a change in color, texture, or even a subtle pattern. It's a way to add a unique flair to your crowd leader and make them instantly recognizable on the crowded streets. It's crucial to understand that these customization options are purely cosmetic. They do not provide any gameplay advantages. However, their impact on the player experience should not be underestimated. A personalized character enhances immersion. It makes you feel more connected to your in-game avatar. Increases enjoyment. It's simply fun to customize your character and make them your own. Boosts motivation. Winning feels even better when you're doing it with a character you've personally designed. In a game that's all about standing out from the crowd, these customization options are a welcome addition. 3. Winning strategies. A multifaceted approach to domination. To consistently achieve victory in Metropoly, you need more than just fast reflexes. You need a strategic mindset, a plan of action, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Here are several proven strategies, broken down into key areas. A. Efficient navigation, mastering the urban landscape. Purposeful movement, avoid aimless wandering. Every movement should have a purpose. Don't double back over streets you've already cleared. Focus on moving towards areas where you see a higher concentration of pedestrians. Identify high-density zones. The city map is not uniform. Certain areas will consistently have a higher density of pedestrians. Learn these areas. Making a beeline for these high-density zones early in the game can give you a significant head start. Pathfinding optimization. Think ahead. Plan your route to maximize pedestrian collection. Can you loop around the block to collect a large group, or is it more efficient to take a direct path? B. Strategic engagements. Choosing your battles wisely. Size assessment. Before engaging another crowd, always visually assess its size relative to your own. If your crowd is larger, you can confidently move in for the absorption. If it's smaller, you have a choice: engage and risk being absorbed, or disengage and seek growth elsewhere. Baiting and trapping. Use your movement to manipulate opponents. You can lure smaller crowds into chasing you, leading them towards areas where you know there are more pedestrians. Then, quickly turn around, collect those pedestrians to increase your size, and absorb the pursuing crowd. Ambush tactics. Wait for opportunities. If you see two other crowds about to clash, position yourself nearby. Once they engage, the larger crowd will absorb the smaller one, but it might also be slightly weakened. This is your chance to swoop in and absorb the victor. C. Utilizing the environment, the city as your weapon. Map knowledge. Familiarize yourself with the layout of the city. Knowing the location of narrow streets, open plazas, and dead ends is crucial. Choke points. Narrow streets can be used as choke points to trap opponents. If you have a larger crowd, you can force a smaller crowd into a narrow street, blocking their escape and guaranteeing their absorption. Open spaces. Open plazas and intersections are often rich in pedestrians, but they also offer less cover. Use these areas to quickly grow your crowd, but be aware of the increased risk of encountering larger opponents. Dead ends. Dead ends can be deadly traps. If you can corner an opponent in a dead end, they have nowhere to run. D. Timing and patience. The art of the calculated strike. Early game conservatism. In the early stages of the game, it's often wise to avoid unnecessary confrontations. Focus on building your crowd steadily in less contested areas. A strong foundation is key to late-game dominance. Opportunistic strikes. Don't be afraid to let other players fight amongst themselves. Wait for the opportune moment to strike, when an opponent is weakened or distracted. Patience is a virtue. Sometimes, the best move is no move. Waiting for the right opportunity can be more beneficial than rushing into a risky engagement. IV. Metropoly versus the competition, standing out from the crowd. The Grow Your Mass genre has seen several popular entries, including games like Crowd City and Link to Whole.io. While Metropoly shares the core concept of gathering and growing, it distinguishes itself with unique features and a refined gameplay experience. A. Metropoly versus Crowd City. Crowd City is a popular mobile game where you collect neutral pedestrians to grow your crowd, competing against other players in a timed match. Both games share the basic mechanic of collecting pedestrians, but Metropoly adds a crucial layer of depth. Direct player interaction. Crowd City is primarily about out-collecting other players. Metropoly, with its crowd-stealing mechanic, introduces direct player versus player interaction. You're not just competing for resources, you're actively fighting for dominance. Increased state GIC depth in Crowd City, a larger group will always win. In Metropoly, you can bait larger groups and use the environment to your advantage. B. Metropoly versus Link to Whole.io. Link to Whole.io takes a different approach, casting you as a growing black hole that consumes everything in its path. While fun and chaotic, Link to Whole.io lacks the strategic nuance of Metropoly. Focus on interaction. Link to Whole.io is primarily about environmental destruction. Metropoly, on the other hand, emphasizes strategic player versus player interactions. The crowd-stealing mechanic forces you to think carefully about every encounter. Human-centric gameplay. Metropoly keeps the action focused on human characters and their interactions. This creates a more relatable and engaging experience. C. The Metropoly advantage. Why it shines. Metropoly's superiority stems from its combination of strategic depth, player agency, and personalization. Strategic depth. The crowd-stealing mechanic is a game-changer. It rewards smart planning, calculated risks, and skillful maneuvering. Player agency. You have more control over your fate in Metropoly. You're not just reacting to the environment, you're actively shaping it through your interactions with other players. Personalization. The character customization options add a layer of fun and individuality that's missing in many similar games. Versus advanced tactics and tips. Elevating your game. Beyond the core strategies, here are some advanced tips to help you truly master Metropoly. Edge of crowd advantage. When crowds overlap, the interaction isn't always instantaneous. Try to position your crowd so that the edge of your crowd contacts the opponent first. This can sometimes give you a slight advantage in the absorption process. Predictive movement. Learn to anticipate the movement of other players. If you can predict where an opponent is going, you can position yourself to intercept them or cut them off. Micro-dodging. Even when facing a larger crowd, skillful micro-dodging, small, precise movements, can sometimes allow you to escape or at least delay being absorbed. Exploit AI weaknesses. If you're playing against AI opponents, pay attention to their behavior patterns. AI opponents may have predictable weaknesses that you can exploit. The developer, Redback Dev, has indicated future updates will include adjustable AI difficulty, so be prepared to adapt your strategies. Practice, practice, practice. The most important tip of all is to practice. The more you play, the better you'll become at reading the game, anticipating opponent movements, and executing your strategies. Conclusion. Rule the streets of Metropoly. You are now equipped with a comprehensive understanding of Metropoly, from the basic mechanics to the advanced strategies. You know how to navigate efficiently, engage strategically, utilize the environment, and time your attacks. You understand how Metropoly compares to similar games and why it stands out. Remember, Metropoly is a game of constant adaptation. Every match is a dynamic, ever-changing landscape. Be flexible, be observant, and be willing to experiment. Don't be afraid to try new things and develop your own unique playstyle. So, download Metropoly on your Android device, or unzip that Windows file, and get ready to conquer the urban jungle. The largest crowd awaits. Go out there and build it.